What?
Welcome to the Faith, Home, Love podcast. I'm Terry Goodlad. My gorgeous wife, Anna, is with me today. And I can't forget to make the mention. Today's show is brought to you by faithhomelove.com and godandcountrymercantile.com.
Our two new businesses.
Our two new businesses. Okay, this has consumed like the last 2 months of our lives, that and me finishing school and it's up and done and it's running and it's actually we're having a lot of fun with it. So
yeah, it's pretty cool when you follow the path that God is opening for you, and it feels different. It feels very fulfilling to work is not work.
No, it's actually it's an awful lot of it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
But
because Anna and I basically are doing everything. Like I mean everything, building websites, shooting pictures, writing stuff. You're designing the clothes. We fold everything. We bag everything. We ship it. Like it's everything is. Anna
and raising 4 kids.
And raising 4 kids.
And homeschooling.
Horrible thing happened this week. Just news update. One of our bunnies passed away in front of our kids. Just keeled over. And
she was the nicest.
Oh, such a sweet bunny. But you know what? It was, Romans 8:28, all things, God can use all things to the good for those that, I know that verse.
Believe.
For those that believe and are called to his purpose. And really that's so much, that wasn't good, but so much good has come from it. So we just stayed strong in the faith. We spent the day with our kids yesterday, all day. So this podcast is actually coming out a week late.
Right.
Because of that, we kind of got off schedule, so we just decided we'd save this one for next week. So, but speaking of God's will,
yep.
Okay, this is a topic we've talked about it before publicly. It's one that when Anna brought it up, I thought, oh, not again, because it's about me. But
Terry hates talking about himself.
I'd rather talk about Anna. But anyway, the cool part is, God healed me from something. I was given a death sentence back in 2001, I wrote all this down. In 2001, I had some issues, went to the hospital, extensive testing, and found out, or was told by a very angry doctor with horrible bedside manner.
And I mean, you were 41 at the time.
Yeah, I was young.
And healthy, an athlete.
Been an athlete my whole life, very, very healthy, wasn't overweight or anything like that. I was a big guy. I was 245 pounds, but I had abs and, I was lean and like that. And long story short, I was in congestive heart failure and didn't know that. And he said, you have a severely enlarged heart. He said, because you did this to yourself because of weightlifting, he said, you're never going to get on a list for a heart transplant, but you need a heart transplant. I had an ejection fraction then of 35. Just so you understand, normal is between 65 and 70. Or 55 and 70.
I think it's 55 and 70.
55 and 70, something like that anyway. I was way below normal. And what that is when your heart pumps, the amount of blood that flows out of your heart is measured in a percentage, and 35 is very low. And so what happens is you just don't have circulation. You start to retain water and swell up, and you'll have chest pains. And ultimately, you're going to die from that, right? That's a lot of older people die from congestive heart failure. So it was bad news. What he told me is he said, you have a maximum of, he says, you have 10 years, he says 15 years maximum on this trajectory. He said 10 years if you keep doing what you're doing, lifting weights and being an athlete, and 15 if you stop doing all of that and just become sedentary. But he said, you're not going to survive past.
With no stress.
Yeah. And so at that time, I was supposed to be dead at 57, I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, supposed to be dead at 57. So I just accepted the fact that I was going to die. I just took him at his word and lived my life that way. And so, and it got worse and worse over the years. I would get pneumonia.
Well, when I met you in 2008, you told me he was up front and he said,
I'm dying.
I'm dying. You don't want to have a relationship with me. And I'm like,
Yeah, and it wasn't a figure of speech. I was actually dying.
and of course, God told me he was the one, but he would have pneumonia 2-3 times a year. I've never seen anybody get sick so often. And we would fly all over the country. The first 10 years we were together, we almost every weekend or every other weekend, we were somewhere in the country working, and we would land, and Terry's ankles were like this big.
I could go like that deep. I could push my finger into my ankles past the second knuckle.
It was horrendous.
I had to wear those really cool old lady support hose things when I flew.
Yeah,
Because my shoes, if I took my shoes off, I couldn't get them back on. So I used to wear flip-flops everywhere I went and sweatsuits. And that's how I traveled.
That's it. And it was awful. But what he didn't listen to the doctor, and he continued to work out very hard. Thank goodness, because it's one of the reasons why he's still alive. And that's how he was up until we got married in 2012.
Yeah.
And then a year later. So Terry, you also had atrial fibrillation.
I had atrial fibrillation as well. And
he was a mess, guys. He
Yeah,
was
it was
a mess. And
and then it got worse because it progressively got worse. At one point, I was told I had a very, very thorough examination. The doctor was a friend of mine, and he told me, he says, Terry, he said, I got to be straight with you, man. He said, you're going to die. It's going to be by 6 months from now, you will be dead. It could happen in an hour from now. It could happen in a week from now, but you're going to be dead.
And we were newlyweds. That was about a year and a half after we got married. He spent 5 days in the hospital because you went in. We're at the gym.
Well, I've been in the hospital. I've been hospitalized 5 times.
That last time.
Right, the last time.
It was New Year's.
I started having TIA, so they're called mini strokes. So a mini stroke is like same symptoms as a stroke, basically, but you just don't have the residual effects. You recover from it. And Anna was there. I think you were there for every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
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 And so
at first we didn't know.
I mean, I know how it felt for me. How did that feel for you?
You know, I had such a blind faith. Like, I just always felt like everything was going to be okay. I worried about you and I wanted to help you, but I always felt a peace, like things are going to be okay based on nothing, you know? And then we got married, and the one time that I really, it shook me was when it was New Year's. No, it was right after Christmas, 2013. That was the
last one.
That was the last one. And we went to the gym in Las Vegas. The gyms are open 24 hours a day. I remember it was late at night. It was maybe 10 o'clock. And you had been, he used to never tell me when he wasn't feeling well because he didn't want to worry me. Or if he told me, I knew it was bad. And we were there. We had a workout and we're talking to some friends. And Terry looks at me. He said, I got to go. And I said, okay, let's go. And we get and this guy does not like the doctor and even left the hospital. So we start driving. And I read him a story that a friend posted on Facebook that somebody, that it was their wife that never woke up. Mm-hmm. Went to bed to get some rest, wasn't feeling well, and then wake up in the morning. And literally I'm on my phone reading him that, and he said, I need to go to the hospital. So we went straight to the hospital.
And I was driving.
He was driving.
I don't know what I was
because
I don't know what I was thinking.
I do, because back then you were
I was just so
stubborn. He was so stubborn.
I was more stubborn than Anna.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
I'm so stubborn because I stayed with him. Even though he was so stubborn. No, but so he had to drive, and I'm like, oh, Lord. And so we go straight to the hospital, and he says, I can't wait for you to park, drop me off at the emergency, and go park and meet me inside.
I pulled up in front of the door because I waited. So just back up a little bit. So what happened is that was right after Christmas. That was close to New Year's, between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel good at Christmas, and I didn't feel good before Christmas, but I wanted to make it through Christmas, and then it was just like, okay, I don't want to die at Christmas, because then that ruins Christmas forevermore, right?
Because he has a say on when he dies,
So I waited till after Christmas.
Like,
And then we went to the gym, and then I thought,
is that
okay,
the ultimate,
I don't want to be.
Is that the ultimate control?
Well, it worked. Didn't it?
No, I think that's God's
Got us
mercy.
to the hospital safely.
That's God's mercy on you.
Absolutely, it was. But I decided that night when we went to the gym, usually Ann and I work out together, and I didn't feel good. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to have a stroke and be stuck in the corner, and she's got to, take care of me. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to go out and
He said, I'm going to have my own workout.
So I went and I had my own workout. So I had, and I like to train hard. I went as hard as I wanted to basically push it and, have a heart attack and then just be done, not be, stuck in a wheelchair or something like that, or be infirmed. And so anyway, so I went and had this workout and was apparently successful, because we had to go to the hospital after.
Well, we did. And I parked the car and I walk in, and he's doing the check-in, because they can check you in without your insurance, and they're not going to admit you even though.
This is good. This is good. So we do I don't remember the check-in because I was like barely conscious. When we go into the ER, the doctor stands at the doors, push open, the doctor stand there. He grabs the gurney that I'm on, holds onto it, and says, "Who's your insurance with?"
Yeah. Yes.
We told him, "Oh, okay, come on in." Come on in.
So
it was literally like that.
So he's doing the check-in. He's sitting down with the lady taking his information, and I walk in, and he looks at me like with a very like desperate look in his eye. And she's asking his name, and he couldn't speak.
Yeah, I couldn't say my name.
He couldn't speak, and he spoke as someone that had just had a stroke, that can't, start to stutter, and he can't really get anything out. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh.
Why did I marry this guy?
No, I didn't think that.
No?
I'm like,
Different,
oh my gosh. I'm like, are our lives going to be different from this point forward? What is it going to be like? Is this going, because it seemed like, when you reach a point of no return. I know my kids make fun of me because I talk with my hands. Wife. So he went in, and we were there for hours, and he got admitted, but they didn't have any rooms available. So you sent me home, because there was no place for me to even sit there with him. And then I came back the next day, he had a room, and I basically sat there for the next 5 days while they went through all of the testing.
She
and
sat there the whole time, didn't leave, and she just did research the whole time on my condition. And
I honestly, if you ask me what did I search for, it was the Holy Spirit, because I look back to my knowledge back then, and even not only that, but what was out there back then. We didn't have as many people talking about gut health. We didn't have as many people talking about inflammation. You didn't even hear inflammation really back then, and so how did I find it? It wasn't me. I know that. I'm not smart enough to go down like this trail, the rabbit holes that I went. And then after 5 days, I had a plan, and we left the hospital. Well, we were being discharged, and they're like, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, basically didn't know what to do. They gave me a stack of prescriptions that I was supposed to take.
7.
I didn't take any of them, and I wasn't taking their stupid.
Oh
drugs.
yeah, he looks at me. He says, "I'm not taking any of this."
Stuff.
And so
well, you take this one, and then you get a side effect. So they're going to give you this one for that side effect, which gives you another side effect. So we'll take this. So I got that. It's like, why would I take any of it, right? So
right.
I just didn't bother. At one point in time, I made a decision. It was in the shower. Was that before I had gone in? Timelines better.
No, it was after.
Okay, so I had gone home, and I was having a shower, And I have a lot of encounters with God in the shower.
Yeah, you do.
I've had quite a few
He
of them.
talks to you a lot. Maybe
He talks
you
to me a
slow
lot this year.
down.
Maybe I stink otherwise. I don't know. But he wants me clean when we talk. But I just came across that I just accepted the fact that I was going to die and this was coming. And I wasn't bothered by it. I felt worse for Anna.
Well, for so many years, you had to live that way. You kind of had to embrace it. You
Yeah,
know,
like, what are you gonna
accepted
do?
it and embraced it.
What are you going to do? So I was dying, and that was that. It was over, right? And I had reached the point where, okay, I think I'm at the end of the road. And at that point in time, Anna thought that she was warming up to the idea of having kids. And we she always wanted to adopt, and I was, fine with that and like that. But I'm dying. Why would you want to, we can't start down that road now. And then
Right.
I was in the shower one day and it just came to me, and it's just, God just put something on my heart. And I really wasn't walking with God at that time. I mean, I was, but not where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't know that much about the Holy Spirit then, but I just got this, I don't want to say a warm feeling, but I got this really peaceful feeling. And I came out and I told Anna, I said, I think I really want to live. Like, I think I want to live,
Which
And-
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
She had plans.
No, like you lived this whole time without wanting to live. Like that made no
there you
sense.
go, ruining your plans again.
I guess it did sound like that.
Kinda did.
No, like imagine if I came out of the room
Yeah.
and I told you, I think I really want to be married to you. Like after
Yeah.
all this time, would you? You were like, how come I didn't know otherwise, right? And he's like, I think I really want to live.
Yeah.
I asked God to let me live, and I was like, you waited this long? Like, I don't know. We've been together at that time, 12 or 13 years. He waited that long to ask God to let him live. I was like shocked by that, but happy, at the same time. So I
It
told
wasn't
you.
intentionally kept secret.
No, I know. It was so in him that he was going to die, that's how you made your decisions, and that's how he lived his life. He's like, I don't know when, anytime, any day, I'm going to die. I have congestive heart failure. It became you and who you were.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't stop. I remember we were in Dallas one time at a trip, and we had like a bunch of suitcases. I've got pneumonia in both lungs, and I'm hauling this cart. And I mean, literally, we had
That's
all of
very
my
good.
photography equipment, all of Anna's clothes for
It
her
was like
clothing company
8
because she was selling.
suitcases.
We had 8 big, giant suitcases, and I'm hauling. I get into the room, and I literally couldn't get enough oxygen,
And he never told me. That's my
Yeah,
point.
but you just get on with it, right? Because like the doctor, like a dummy, I believed him, but he just said you're gonna die. So okay, I'm gonna die. I guess I know when. But that's the thing. I just accepted it. Like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's just like we're all gonna die.
The day where
I
you
just
said,
get to know when,
right?
kind of,
Not really.
so I can be in control of that.
Well, so that day when he said, I want to live, that was the day where you basically said, okay, so what's the plan that you have? And I said to him, we need to buy a Vitamix and start with these juices.
It's one of those blenders that chops everything too.
And no,
Liquefies
let me tell
everything.
you this. No. Okay, but God is so good because we were coming to Florida that week. He's like, it's a $500 blender. Why would I ever, spend all that money in a blender? And we're gonna do just juices. That's for hippies. I can't remember exactly verbatim what he said, but it was like,
Sounds like you're doing pretty good.
no. And then we fly to Florida, and we're staying at a friend's
Flying
house.
to Florida's hard to say, isn't it?
Flying to Florida, and we're staying at a friend's house, and it's somebody we were close to, and Terry really admire, and our friend does a lot of research on things, and he pulls out a Vitamix. He said, "Look what I bought, because this week I'm starting to make my own
The definition
juices."
of an expert is somebody that wears a suit and is from at least 50 miles away.
I need a house 50 miles away, so he'll listen to me. And I was like, tell me more about these juices. And so they made their first juice with us there, and Terry tried it. And he's like, okay. And then he got all of this, science behind it and like that. And we went home, and that was, the rest is history. A year and a half later.
Well, what we did, we went home. We did a bone broth diet. This is
Well,
something.
that's what we're gonna go.
We did a bone broth. We changed the diet completely.
Well, we did 30 days of like no extras. This is a whole nother show.
This is a whole nother show. But
if
essentially,
you guys are interested,
essentially it was an anti-inflammatory diet. The problem with the heart is not plaque. The problem with the heart is inflammation. And I had a serious inflammation problem.
6 to 8 eggs a day,
and beef,
but everything is farm raised. Like, we know the farm we're getting them from.
Yeah.
It's organic beef, and that was we had organic beef and vegetables, and this
is the hippie segment.
Anti-inflammatory diet, and at the same time healing.
I wear anti-inflammatory socks.
healing
Bamboo.
your gut.
Bamboo underwear.
Okay, listen. How old are you
All
now?
Christmas
because of
gifts.
Me. On his 57th birthday, that he was supposed to be dead, he did a thousand and how many?
I did 1,007 push-ups in 70 minutes.
Yes.
And Anna did. I trained for that for 6 months, and what it was is just going to be the big,
celebration of being alive instead of dead.
For me, it was a little more vengeful than that, but yes, it was just like, So anyway, I did 1,000. I trained for 6 months and did 1,007 push-ups in 70 minutes. And Anna, right beside me, did 685. But that's how we celebrate. And I did 107 because on the seventh day, God rested after creating the earth. And so that was just...
And I think you touch on something. I mean, of course, that was before we had kids.
No. The other thing, too, that we didn't say yet. Now, this is the miraculous healing. Now, just so you know, can we jump ahead to that?
I would love
so
that.
we're going to jump ahead. So we wanted to become... We decided, we looked up private adoptions and stuff like that. Everything, no matter what it is, you have to have a medical, and there's no way I could pass the medical.
And
now,
you wouldn't
understand.
adopt
I
a
had
child
not been
without being
I had not
healthy.
been to the doctor after I got out of the hospital. We did that whole change in diet and stuff
we
like
don't
that.
go to the doctor.
And so I hadn't gone back to the doctor, but I went. I had to go get a cardiac checkup just to make sure.
Yeah.
So they did a complete workup on me
For a week. You wear a monitor.
Yeah, I did all kinds of things, and then I went back, and the doctor. First of all, when I did the ultrasound, the ultrasound tech has been doing that his whole entire life, cardiac ultrasounds. That's all this guy does, and he's in his mid-50s, ready to retire. And my ejection fraction, in 2001, it was 35. It had gotten worse over time, so I don't know what it was
at its lowest.
But I was at 65. It had gone up to
That's
65.
God.
And he said, there's no way it was 35. I said, yep. I said, I actually had it tested in the hospital right next door. I said, the records are there. And he said, I've never seen that. And he says, how'd you do it? And I said, well, an anti-inflammatory diet and God. And he said, I'm going to look into it.
I'm not familiar with either.
I'm not familiar with either, but he was moved enough that he was going to look into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we did that. And also at the end of it all, my heart was a normal size. I had no discernible plaque anywhere in my body that they could find. And he said, you've got a perfectly healthy
and your
heart.
AFib was gone.
And no atrial fibrillation, which is a miracle because that just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That doesn't change with an anti-inflammatory diet. That was God. That was 100% God. and God led Anna where she needed to go in order to take care of and deal with the inflammation. And so that was 100% God. I was healed by God.
Absolutely.
That's my testimony, and I'm standing by it. And so anyway, long story short, we were able to, we decided we were going to become foster parents. We became licensed.
After saying there is no way we'll ever be foster parents, God was like, yes, you will. No, I said that too, not just you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's too much heartbreak. That's
I
a whole
think God
nother
just
show
likes
too.
making a fool. No, God allows me to make a fool of myself by making all these declarative statements about what I'm never going to do. Anne always laughs whenever I say I'm never doing, and she just starts laughing because
I'm like, why are you even saying that?
because
Now
every
you
time
know you
every
are.
time God just does it, it just proves me wrong. But yeah, we ended up getting licensed, and I think we had 12 foster kids
Total.
11 or 12, yeah. And then we ended up, we were blessed to be able to adopt our kids. And so now we have our family, and that's the family that I had prayed for, because I always wanted a family, and I wanted a lovely wife
Should
to have
we
that
tell
family
them
with.
that God prophesied more kids for us last year? and we both had to sit down and
Okay, God, we need to talk. Yeah. I think you're real. I'm going to be 67 in a month. I think but anyway, here we are, and we're still going, right? So anyway, not long story short, but just to get to this part, and I know we need to talk about this more, and we can't do it in this show.
I wanted to say one thing though, because you were talking about the push-ups, but it reminded me the fact of we did the whole thing together. Mm-hmm. Like I would never, and I'm so glad that I never said, I'm healthy. I don't need to make any changes to my lifestyle. Like, I love him so much that I would never put him through a walk, that it's uncomfortable.
No,
and,
you did
and on your own.
You did the whole thing with me. She not only did the research, she went out and bought all this stuff, made all this stuff. Now, this is a woman that understands. She went through the whole process with me. She sacrificed everything I sacrificed. And
well, but you know what? I am so grateful because I just turned 51 and I don't feel 51. Like the other day I was telling my mom, I was talking to, in Portuguese, I was saying, senora, if you speak Spanish, senora, it's an older lady. And I was like, and I was like, oh, I'm a senora. I'm a senora. But that's not how I see myself. Like, I feel like I'm 31, not 21 because I'm not that. I got some brains, like the kids say. I got some brains now. But I feel like I'm 31, and I
think
know.
the biblical reference for that is wisdom.
But
for all of you out there that are 21, and please don't be offended.
And that you have wisdom. I'm talking about myself. When I was 21, I would never want to go back to that. Like, I know plenty of 20-year-olds where we live that have way more wisdom than I did at 30, 40.
Yeah, I wasn't that bright at 21 either.
So anyway, making those changes prepared me to be a mother at this age, and we have young kids. It's nonstop, and I homeschool, and, a lot of it is physical. And our youngest is 7, and I want to just not watch them. I want to be active with them. Mm-hmm. That making that death sentence mm-hmm. prepared us for our calling to be older parents and to be able to raise a family in our health. Because, I don't have health problems, but I wasn't eating in a healthy way. I was doing the fitness model diet that is all for how you look, but it's not for
and how you perform in the gym
and how you perform.
Don't
right.
confuse that with being healthier what your particular body
Well,
needs.
that was you at 41.
Because I ate very, very good food. There was nothing wrong with what I ate. I ate what anybody would call healthy food. But,
Right.
But there was a lot of that food that was creating problems inside my body. And I think that's really where, I think if we were to shift gears here and talk about the process, the actual process, because it was, that was, I think for most, well, let me go back and ask you this question. When we talked about this, we pray about every show that we do, and God led us to this one, and then Anna got her confirmation because 4 people came up to her in church last Sunday and asked her about this. What did they ask you?
Well,
I never asked you this, so I don't know the answer to this, just so you know. So what did they ask?
I think, thinking back, each one of them for different reasons and what they're facing in their lives right now, they want to make changes. They don't know how. And they don't know what path to go, because you go on the internet and there's so much information and it contradicts each other. It's really, really hard. And then baby steps, right? Like, how do I go from where I am now, wherever that place might be, towards I want to be 67 and raising, little kids and keeping up with it. Like, because I forget, like when you say that he's not 67 yet, but you're a month away.
Month away, yep.
Yeah.
I'm 66.
Yeah, and a half.
And a half. I'm 66 and a half. All of our kids, everything.
I have to remind myself of that. I forget that because you push me, like the way you
I
live
act
your
like
life.
one of those irresponsible 21-year-olds that you talk about.
No, you have wisdom now.
Yep.
You have wisdom. No, but like physically, but then you were that guy with double pneumonia that was like pushing the stuff, through the airport. But see, that served a purpose.
It did.
It prepared.
Strengthened me. It was good for me.
So how do you want to age? I feel like the world tells us that we work really, really hard, and then we get to the point where we can just put our feet up, watch TV, drink alcohol, go on cruises, and do nothing. And you know what? That is the fastest lane to...
So many of my friends in this last year, and not just my buddies from law enforcement that are now retired, but not only that, but other friends that are not former law enforcement that are retired. Just last month, I think there were 6.
Oh my gosh, it's been
I'm
crazy.
probably averaging 2 a month.
Yeah.
2 friends that we're losing
for the past
a month
10 years.
that are my age group, some of them younger.
You have a lot of friends, by the way.
Yeah, and they're dropping like flies, and it's all the same thing. And it's
not that,
so you
you're
retire.
not...
So you're going to live the good life when you retire. So
Right.
that means you drink more, you sit and you're more sedentary, you do less things, you putter around the yard, and you end up getting depressed because you never leave the house.
And you eat bad foods.
Yeah,
because that's when you go to restaurants.
Right.
We just did 2 nights ago. We
We're
had
still
an
paying for it.
event. We had an event, and we went to a restaurant. I'm not going to name names, so it was very nice restaurant. I ordered fish with potatoes
No, it
and
was a
broccoli.
higher end restaurant and it was good food.
It was
but
good
still,
food.
It just
For 2 days, I didn't quite feel like
Yeah,
myself.
same here. And so the thing of it is that's what happens. That's what retirement is. I've retired twice now, and I'll never do it again. Like it's
Yeah.
because I have a lot of kids and don't have the choice. No, it's just that.
No, and how do you
you're-
want to
you're-
live that part
well,
of
you're
your
here
life?
for a purpose. We're here for a purpose. That's a whole other show. We can get into that, but that's just lunacy. Being active, it's not a sin. Guys from my generation, so I'll be 67 in June. I was born in 1959. And so guys that were raised in the 60s and the 70s and like that, working out was for idiots and, or narcissists, or it was always some nefarious reason why you worked out. It was like, no, I worked out because I feel way better. I
Right.
can do more. And the thing of it is that, I want to, am I trying to, cheat father time? No, I want to go home and be with the Lord whenever he's ready. But
Right.
until then, I got work to do here. I got stuff to do.
I think that's the point.
And the thing is that It's my quality of life.
Yes.
I've got friends now that they're just weekly visit with the doctor. I'm going to
So-
the gym. They're going to the doctor almost as often as I'm going to
Right,
the gym.
right.
I haven't seen a doctor. I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah. This is not medical advice.
No, but no, and I'm not. Yes, please.
Yes,
But
please
my
don't.
point is I just don't have any serious medical issues, and my knees work great, my elbows work great, everything, and I work out. Like I take my breaks. I just came off a break, but I work out every day, every other day. Whatever I feel I should do, and we're just putting things into our body, and this is the most important thing.
Right.
I don't put things in my body that make me feel bad, because that's the barometer.
Right.
If you
And if you eat healthy long enough, then
when
go
you put
back
stuff in
to-
your body
yeah.
that your body has a hard time
Doesn't-
processing,
You don't
your
want
body,
it.
you'll feel it. You'll
Yeah.
know.
And that's our kids, and that's a whole nother show. I do want to do a show on kids and how to get kids to eat healthy.
If you guys want to hear that, let us know in the comments.
I'm doing it anyway.
If this
No,
is valuable, no, but if this is kind of useful stuff to you, we don't know. Like, this is just what we do.
That's true.
But if it benefits somebody and you want to hear more, put it in the comments, because we'll do a show on it. We got no problem with
Well,
that.
our kids they eat the way we eat, right? And so a regular day for them would be sourdough that I bake in the morning, sourdough with farm eggs and raw milk from the farm. That's how they start their day. We do our school. And here's the thing. I wouldn't even ever want to give them sugar in the morning, because I'm their teacher. Like, why would I make my life, miserable? But that's the aside. You want to start the day with high nutrients, high protein, and then they'll have chicken and rice. They will have quesadillas. They have fruit throughout the day, and then steak and vegetables. Some of them don't really like vegetables because, we didn't raise our kids from
But they love green juices.
newborn, and a lot of that comes from those first 2 years. But they love the green juices, and I'm able to hide all kinds of stuff in those juices. And if you guys are interested, I can show you that. But we are not.
Not how she hides them, just the recipe. She's talking about the recipe.
But we are not, parents that will be like, don't eat anything at the birthday party because everything's going to be junk. It's like, you'll go to a birthday party. It's like,
No,
okay.
but in fairness, our kids will go to a birthday party and no, they'll scrape
Well,
the icing off the cake because they want the cake, but they don't want the icing.
That's what they've got to.
That's
you
their
know
choice.
why?
We don't teach them that.
Because they ate the
They
cake.
drink water instead of soda. You know
No,
what I mean?
they ate that cake and the icing,
And
and
feel
then
horrible.
they have a stomach ache because they don't ever do. So you know what? Sure, go ahead, eat the cake. That's what I do.
Yeah.
We go to a birthday party. It's like, sure, you can have cake. There are certain things that I am strict, and that's food coloring, and there's many
no
reasons.
drinking or smoking.
And there's many
For our
reasons for
kids.
that, and that's also I feel like another show. But they feel the difference, and then we go back to our diet. They're like, oh, I feel so much better. I don't want any of that. So we are no different than the kids.
No, and I think we gotta go back and talk about that transition, because that was a difficult time, and I think there's some value in talking about
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
So that transition. So we got back from the hospital. Anna went grocery shopping, got a bunch of stuff, came back, and started on. Well, it was bone broth and these green smoothies, right?
Yeah.
And and so now just understand that this was not this wasn't about calorie deprivation.
Right.
There was, whenever you're hungry, you eat, and you eat as much as you want to eat, but it was what you consumed, and everything was anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
And so what happened is, for the first, it was not really a withdrawal, but there's so many things that I missed, and for the first, I think 7 days, I didn't feel very good.
I remember for you, it was day 11.
Was it?
We went to do. Why I remember that, I don't know, but
I mean, when I got that energy burst?
yes, it was.
Okay, you guys.
It was a photo shoot at Mel's gym,
Yeah.
and we shot all day. Like we woke up at 5 a.m, set up. We shot all day.
Yeah. It was the four of you. I was shooting the four of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the day, you were like, "Should we work out?" And Terry like at the end of a photo shoot, he was
Exhausted.
always done.
Yeah.
And it was day 11. And I remember because you needed to keep snacking. So I had to go to the store. It was Sprouts or whatever. And I had to grab a bunch of stuff, fruit and whatnot. And you kept eating, stayed on the diet. And then the photo shoot was over. And you're like, let's work out. And that everything changed that day.
Like up to that point, it was hard because I missed things. But here's the bottom line. There is no shortcut.
Right.
I remember one time when I used to competitively bodybuild, and this is just a story to kind of illustrate a point. But I used to sit in the gym and I would eat. Now, the way I dieted, and I trained elite athletes for many, many years, for like 35 years, elite and pro athletes. And typically in bodybuilding, what everybody does, they starve themselves. And I didn't. What I did is I just changed the foods, but I really didn't limit my calorie intake because I needed that to be able to work hard and recover. So I would sit there and I was getting by. I was dieting on about probably 3,000 calories. And another guy that was going in the same contest as me, training in the same gym as me, would come in. He's the same size as me, and he's coming in, and he literally formed a hatred for me because he would come in and I would be having my pre-workout meal, and he'd walk in, and this guy's functioning on, I think he was doing 1,000 calories a day or something like that. And then he'd go down to 700, and I'm doing 3,000. And so he was so mad at me because I ended up looking better than him, placing higher than him.
Right.
And,
but when you're a bodybuilder and you're starving, you do get angry. Like you're so hungry that you're like, I hate you right now that you're having that,
But the thing is that, and I was going somewhere with that story, and it was a really, really good analogy.
No, it's not about calorie deprivation. It's about feeding the right food.
Right. So it's not about calorie deprivation, but I went into that and my body looked just fine. But the thing is that when I went back after the contest and I started eating other stuff and introducing other things, then I blew up. I had no energy. I just felt horrible. Yeah. And my digestion just got all messed up. So you'd eat a meal and then you couldn't eat for a long time, and then you're starving. My blood sugar's up and down, so I was tired. And when I started on this thing, what happened is it was difficult because I had to discipline myself. And that was the thing. I remember this was the part of the story I wanted to tell. So I'm sitting there one day and some guy comes in and says, listen, I've been watching you every day. He says, your body's changing. You look fantastic. You're amazing. I want that. I just don't have time. First of all, I'm not eating that goofy food and I don't have the time to work out and stuff like that. But how do I look like you? And I'm going, if there was a different way, do you think I'd be going through this process myself? It's like, sorry, bro, I can't help you, Right. And that's the thing. If you want the result, understand there's going to be a price to pay for the result, and just resign yourself to that fact. And just go through it. Now, I went through it for, I want to say the first week was really a struggle. You say 11 days. It was tough some days because I missed things. I had, in our culture, we eat for comfort. Yeah. We eat for social reasons. We really don't eat for what our body needs for nutrition.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to challenge you, if you think that you do, tell me how many calories you expend and how many you take in. Tell me what sensitivities you have. Nobody knows these things.
Right.
And so, no, we eat for social reasons and we eat for comfort. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is if you're uncomfortable a lot of the time, that's going to create a dietary issue.
Right.
And if you're doing lots of socializing, I know people that don't cook at home.
I know.
They eat out every night, every day. They eat. And sometimes they only eat one meal a day and they eat it at a restaurant. So that doesn't necessarily line up with your body's needs and any issues your body has with particular foods.
Right.
And so what this is this basically took all this stuff out that had any potential at all to be like an allergy or inflammatory or any kind of, because allergies can create, food allergies can create inflammation as well.
Absolutely.
And so it just cleaned that out. And so by the day 11, I remember that energy burst, and somebody lit a rocket on my back. Yeah. And I just couldn't slow down. Now, we were supposed to finish this thing after 30 days, and I didn't want to quit.
No.
Because I felt so good.
The strict part. The strict part
gosh.
where we had nothing other than
No deviations.
no deviations other than a list of foods that we
There was
follow.
no Saturday, we're going to have a cheat day. No.
Right.
No, you have to.
So we did that for 30
basically
days.
Climatize your system, free up your system from
Yeah.
anything that it has to fight with.
And
just,
I remember both of us were like, we don't want to be done.
Why would I ever want to stop?
And we basically have been living like this. Now, there's always seasons, there has been, where when we moved and things like that, and things start to creep in.
But you always go back to because you know it works. But the point is that
because you feel awful.
Yeah, you feel horrible, and you want to go back because you know what works.
Yeah.
And so now, do we live? Do we enjoy ourselves? Yes, and yes, we go out for social events and we eat socially. We know we know the price we're going to pay
every time.
And so just limit the quantity.
Yeah.
And so I'll have things. We do birthdays, we do all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that I want to eat the things that we eat. I love my green juices.
Once you get that feeling, that's your reminder, when you have a craving, you're like, but I don't want to pay the price.
Yeah.
And I tell people, honestly, we've been telling this story, this miracle and this change and this testimony for over a decade. And Terry told me, let's not do this one more time, but I really felt like there's so many people that needed to hear. And I say this with love, and I say this to people all the time, with love. We all have a choice. We can make the change now just because somebody shared the knowledge with you.
Or wait till a catastrophic
or
event.
you can wait until you're given 6 months to live, or worse, that something really bad had to happen. We've had friends that were diagnosed with cancer or something else, diabetes, and or you can go and take all the pills, but then live your life in that stance where everything is hard, difficult, painful. I can't imagine having such hardship to move and to do things and to have energy because you're following kind of the world and how the world teaches us to eat. Like, we go places and we're very odd to the norm. You're not.
She's more odd than me, but yes.
That's true. You don't eat that. You don't. But are you still enjoying yourself? Yes, I am. I am, because.
And just, this is the way my grandparents ate. Really, to be honest with you.
That's the truth. Yeah.
And what they did is they were farmers. They grew everything,
Yeah.
and this is how they ate. It's
Yeah.
not a stretch. All of this.
But we're made to think that we're missing out.
What's
if
that
we eat that
rule?
way.
Okay, if you're looking at the label of something, and you need to have a science degree in order to understand what that ingredient is,
Right.
how it functions in your body, its level of toxicity, any side effects you're going to get from that product or that ingredient. If you don't know that, if you can't pronounce that ingredient, that's one indicator. But if you don't know everything you need to know about that ingredient, why would you put that in your mouth just because everybody does it?
And because 20 years later,
when somebody
they're gonna
explained
say,
that-
"Oh, sorry, that gave you, all this."
When somebody
problems.
explained that to me, and then I started looking into ingredients, and at one point in time, I worked with a food scientist, actually,
Yeah.
with a business that I had, and creating products, and ended up having to fire her and find somebody else because it was a sports nutrition product, and half of it was chemicals.
Right.
And, well, you have to have this for this, and you have to have this for this. I said, no, I don't have to anything.
Yep.
And so that's the thing. Now you see more and more companies that are doing things
that's
more
a
naturally
good
like
point,
that.
Terry, because in every industry, including the health and fitness, there's all kinds of chemicals and bad things in there. And if you don't know what they're doing there, you shouldn't. Like, I am so picky with the protein powder. I use protein powder. With a busy life and kids, it's the one way that I can reach my protein goals every day. but I can't have just any I won't have just any protein, and if I do, my body lets me know that that's not okay. And there was a protein powder that we used for years and years and years, and then they changed one ingredient, and immediately we are like, we can't use it anymore.
Walk around 9 months pregnant, passing gas like a tractor.
And it recently just happened again.
And it was one ingredient.
Yeah. And so you have to be so careful.
And I'm sure it had something to do with saving money or something. You know what I mean?
Always is.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's a business.
So anyway, the point is that transition, it's a difficult transition. There is no shortcut. If you're going into this looking for a shortcut, don't bother. You're starting with the wrong mindset, and you'll fail the minute it gets uncomfortable. Prepare yourself to be uncomfortable. Don't plan for the best day. Don't be planning about the day you're going to get into the smaller size bathing suit or the different size jeans.
Is that what you plan for?
Plan for your hardest day. How are you going to get through your hardest day? And so do things like get rid. Okay, I just got that. I was on a roll, and I just got that. Well played. You'll pay later for that. No, but get things out of your house that you shouldn't have there. Anna did this with me. She didn't need to, but she did, and she benefited from it. But it was so much easier because we just took all the stuff out of the house that would be tempting, that you can just impulsive in the middle of the night. I'm bad for that. I get up in the middle of the night and want to go grab something. Well, okay, now I can come on and grab a banana, or, hey, there's a half-eaten avocado in the fridge, you know.
Right.
But the thing of it is it's... just get rid of the stuff, because there's going to be horrible days and you're going to be very, very tempted. So just make a decision that you're just not going to do it, and then get rid of anything that's going to tempt you. So plan for this thing, you know, and the other thing is mentally, you know, you're not suffering. You're going through something that's benefiting you.
Right.
Stop complaining about it. Stop whining about how you feel. That's a little harsh.
Because you can hear it.
Yeah, I can.
It is hard, guys. It like you know
you
know
get
why
the call.
he says
No, you get the call.
because
Okay, it's my sister's birthday. And can I just have a little bit of chocolate? Yeah, eat all the chocolate you want. Knock yourself out.
Stop.
You know, it's not going to help you.
That's trainer
It's going to
Terry.
make your that's trainer Terry.
Yeah. No. Honestly, in the past 10 years, we've shared this many, many times with many, many people. A lot of them were very, very sick, or it was for a loved one that was very sick. Mm-hmm. And I can count, maybe not in one hand, maybe two, how many people actually stuck with it and made the changes. But the ones that did
changed dramatically.
I had a friend that she had PCOS. She had been on medication for years and years and years. They told her you could never be off the medication. Sure enough, she was off the medication. I mean, guys, we can go down.
Yeah, there's so many awesome success stories with this. And it's not like, this isn't a program. We're not selling anything.
Yeah, we're not selling.
All it is just, hey, if we can bless you with this and it saves somebody's life or saves yours or improves the quality of your life.
And the next generation. I mean, if you're raising kids or...
And it's not rocket science. It's just stop shoving stuff in your body that you don't know anything about, and just because it's got a little bit of sugar smeared on the top of it. You know what I mean? Sounds like I'm talking to my kids now, doesn't it?
No.
Okay.
You're actually a lot nicer to the kids. You know what I started? Like,
okay, I trained athletes for 35 years.
That's the part of him that is coming out
dumbest
right
questions
now.
you could ever, because they want what they want, and they want it to be your fault.
I'm like, I've seen this guy, but that's been a long time. By the way, he used to train me as a professional athlete, so I know that speech. No, honestly, what we tell our kids, we educate them, but here's the reality: is that once you remove everything that you shouldn't have, there's so many good options, recipes. Yes, it's not gonna taste the same, but it's gonna taste really, really good. And our kids eat sugar, but they eat organic raw sugar, baked at home most of the time, and there are ways to enjoy life and enjoy what you eat without having to put garbage in your body that is going to create an environment for disease and an environment for just, a terrible quality of life as we age. And even if you're in your 20s, the time to start is today. Like I said, you don't have to wait. Kids are developing diabetes nowadays. Like, it's no longer a waiting game.
Yeah, obesity
it's like
is rampant.
disease is rampant, and so what can you do? And if you are interested,
and we
in
don't
the
limit
steps-
our kids. Like, we don't limit what our kids eat.
No, we don't.
They know what foods that they know, the foods that bother
Chemicals,
them,
we call it chemicals. Hey, this
Yeah.
food is full of chemicals.
or sugar or whatever it is, but they know what bothers them, and they do jujitsu 5 days a week, and the rest of the time they're running around. We don't have devices for our kids. Our kids go outside and do the really weird thing they used to do in the 50s where they play outside. You heard of that?
It's pretty amazing, apparently.
Yeah, they play with swords and sticks and like imaginary swords. But I mean, the point is our kids are very physical. And so when they don't eat good food, they know it. And so they don't, they don't want to eat good food or bad food. And so I think the point I think I want to make is that discipline yourself. It will pay you back in spades. The logic behind it is simply this. You may have food allergies or things that you don't digest very well or whatever it is. You discover that when you do this, it's not a purge, but it's just clean up that diet. We went through this thing. We did this thing that was an anti-inflammatory diet. And then I started to reintroduce foods back into my diet, and I learned real quickly things. Oatmeal, I've eaten oatmeal my whole life. I can't eat oatmeal. It causes my stomach to bloat. If it's causing my stomach to bloat, there's a digestive issue there. I shouldn't put that in my body, no matter how good it tastes. I shouldn't put it in my body. If I'm eating oatmeal 3 times a day and eating 5 other things that are also creating the same effect, that just becomes my normal.
And then you'll never know how he feels.
And then I just think, oh yeah, I'm getting old, I
Yeah.
guess, That's what you think. But you don't realize that if you just take this out of your diet, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My waist just went down 3 inches.
Right. And I have energy.
Because I'm not bloated. I've lost 10 pounds because I finally went to the bathroom and I've got energy and I want to do things and my mind is bright and I can concentrate and I don't want to sit in front of the TV all the time. I want to get out and go for walks and see and do things. And so it really, really changes your life. From a biblical perspective, and I've got lots of verses I could share. I could probably put them in the comments, but this is the temple. Your body, if you're a believer, then you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Why would we want to throw garbage in that temple? We know what Jesus did at the temple with all the money changers and got rid of all that garbage. Yep. Metaphorically speaking, that's a metaphor, but for what we're dumping into our bodies now, just because of temptation, we feel tempted.
Yes.
If you are a believer, the Holy Spirit helps you. Trust me, the Holy Spirit helps you. One of my worst times is at night, in the middle of the night. I have a hard time sleeping at night. And so I get up and eating is what I want to do. And if there's something that I shouldn't eat, I will find it. And then I stand there and I have that struggle. And more often than not, I'll lose that struggle. So the only stuff that I won't touch is I won't touch my kids' stuff. So there's a bucket up there with all my kids' treats in it. I won't steal my kids' treats. So that's how I do it. I don't want to be dishonorable and steal from my kids,
Right.
But the Holy Spirit helps me tremendously to do this. And the Holy Spirit will open your eyes to things. And your walk with Jesus can be a tremendous asset when you're doing a major change in your life like this.
Absolutely.
And the devil will try to undo this. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants to kill you. He wants to destroy your happiness. He wants to destroy the cohesiveness of your family. He wants to destroy your business. He wants to destroy everything that you have. And especially if you're a believer, and especially if you're doing something truly amazing, he's going to come at you 100 times harder. Right. So just expect that. But the blood of Jesus always defeats the enemy. So your walk with God will help you get through this and help you sustain it for a long, long time.
That's right.
He gave me my life back.
Yep.
And so if I can share this with you and it helps you, that is why he gave me my life back.